Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now I have some water in the pot, so to that I'm gonna add my washed beef. Now I'm going to add almost a pound of beef to the pot. Now remember to clean up your meat properly, and I did wash mine with some vinegar. Alright, so I cut my beef into some chunks. Now to that I'm gonna add some garlic, after which I'm gonna add scallion and thyme because I want to flavor my beef. Gonna add some Maggi or pepper season to mine. Go ahead and add whichever season of your choice. And remember guys, you could always season your beef prior to adding it to the pot, but I choose to do it this way. Alright, so I'm gonna add a little seasoning and some salt to it, a little bit of black pepper because I want my beef to have flavor. So I'll be pressure cooking my beef, however you can go ahead and slow cook. Alright, so after I'm adding all of my ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and cover the pot and let it come up to a boil, and then it will start pressuring. Alright, so it will pressure until the meat is tender, so maybe about 30 minutes or less, because my pressure cooker pressure is very fast, so I'll say about 15-20 minutes. Alright, so each pressure cooker time varies. Now guys, I'm gonna make my dough. So I have some cornmeal and some flour in the bowl. So I'm gonna add some salt. Now guys, because I'm wearing acrylic nails, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a spoon. Now this method, you add the water a little at a time, because remember, you're not using your hands, you're not gonna know how moist it is. You just have to judge. Alright, so I'm gonna add a little water each time. Now I'm using 2 cups of flour to almost about half cup of cornmeal, because I love a lot of cornmeal in my dough. Alright, so you want to gradually add the water and stir. Alright, so after doing that guys, once you see it start forming, I want to use a spoon just to gather it together or press the dough together. Alright, so I'm gonna show you all of that step so that you can have a full understanding, in case you are a person who likes to wear your nails, or you are a person who don't like to feel the flour on your hands. Alright, because it can be kind of messy, or feel a little on your hands. So see, I'm pressing it guys, so I can get all of that dough together, and I'm gonna scrape around the sides as well, because you want it to be fully mixed in. Alright, when you need a flour, it is too soft, so don't add too much water. You want to see if it can form without adding too much water at once. Alright, so ensure that you clean all of your flour from your bowl guys. You don't want to knead the flour and then just leave flour in the bowl. No guys, so just take your time and do what you see I'm doing guys. I feel like you could ask somebody to knead it for you, but for me guys, I have no problem if you use my spoon. Yeah, so after I'm finished kneading my dough and it comes together nicely, I'm going to cover and let it rest, and go and cut up my yam and so on. Now I'm going to let it rest for maybe about 20 minutes or until I'm ready to add it to the pot. Alright guys, now guys, the beef is fully pressured. I transfer it to another pot because I was using the pressure cooker. Now it's for tender, but you don't want it to be extremely tender where it's gonna mash out in your soup, unless you love that way. Alright, so I'm gonna add my pumpkin. Alright, so I did not remove the skin because the skin has a lot of nutrients as well. Now guys, I'm not gonna add any carrot to my recipe, however go ahead and add whichever vegetables you like. Alright, so I did cut them in some big pieces because I like to crush them, so it doesn't matter whether big or small. Yes guys, so after it's finished cooking, I did took them from the pot and I mashed them, and now I'm transferring them back into the pot. You could also blend your pumpkin guys, but me I do the old school way. As I said, I'm not gonna use any carrots. No, me not like chocho, so I'm not gonna add that in my soup. So whatever you like to add to your soup, go ahead and do so. Alright, guys. My provisions of choice. I'm gonna add some yam to it, some yellow yam and some sweet potato. Now I do love to add my Irish as well. I was out, so I'm adding what I had. Alright, so I'm adding them in some bite-sized pieces. Yes, guys. So after which I'm gonna allow the liquid to come up to a rapid boil, and then I'll add my dough. So now it's time for me to add my dumplings. Now guys, me don't love extremely big dumpling in my soup, so I'm adding the size of my choice. So go ahead and do the same. So now I'm gonna season up the pot with some more fresh seasonings. I'm adding some pimento seeds. I love to add pumpkin seed to my soup, guys, so I'm gonna add just a few little pieces. So guys, for me always season up a throat. So I always add in more fresh seasoning, because you know the more fresh seasoning, you know the more flavor your soup have. Alright. So I'm gonna add some more scallion and thyme to it. I'm gonna add my 2 scotch bonnet pepper. Now the yellow one is for heat, the green one is for flavor. Now guys, I love to add corn to my soup, but I do not have any corn at this point. So I just have to make my soup the way I have it. Alright, so I add some sweet pepper. Now guys, sweet pepper make a soup nice. So if you like, you could always try it. I add lots of garlic to my soup as well. Now I'm gonna add my Maggi cock soup, my Grace cock soup, sorry. Now I love the noodle, however you could always omit. Yes guys, so I'm gonna give it a nice little stir, because you don't want any of the ingredients to be sticking together or stick to the bottom of the pot. Alright, so you know that the food will take some time to cook. Alright guys, but me love to just add my season and everything, and then they just cook together, and you know all of them have that nice flavor to it. Alright, I love to add butter. Now I'm adding a piece of butter to mine. I'm also gonna add some coconut milk. Now you can omit the coconut milk if you choose. It's not fresh coconut milk. I just use some packed coconut milk, mix it with some water. However, you could always use canned coconut milk or fresh coconut milk. All of them are coconut milk, guys. Alright, so just go ahead and just make a soup the way you choose. Alright guys, now the pumpkin seed has so many benefits that I don't want it to go to waste, so I always add it in my soup, as I said earlier. So now guys, I'm gonna just make my soup cook down, and then look at that, my soup a bubble and it tastes good. Yes, so guys, after you add all your cock soup mix, if you would like, you could always taste and see if it needs more flavoring. So this is the end product, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, don't forget to give me a like. Stay blessed and go and big up on yourself straight.